Hi, everyone. Welcome back for most of you, or for some of you, welcome to AVID. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. My name is Mark Stafford, and I have been teaching this college prep elective course for about 12 years now. So it's hard to believe, but this is senior year. So some of you, we've been together since freshman year. It seems like a distant memory for me. But this is my 12th year teaching AVID. This is going to be my third cycle of AVID students to graduate from Carmel High School. And it's one of the most rewarding parts of my job here is to just be able to get to know students and families so well. So I'm excited for this year. I'm pretty disappointed that we are where we are, but feeling lucky that everybody's safe and healthy. One of the highlights of teaching AVID is kind of celebrating and working through this senior year together, and it's already a little disappointing to only get to interact with your students online, but I'm looking forward to making the best of it. This is my contact information. You see my email there, mstafford@carmelunified.org, and my school phone number. And just for AVID families, AVID students can contact me on my phone via the Remind app. But for parents who don't have access to that, my cell phone number is there at the bottom, 831-402-4343. So that's for AVID families only. I don't typically give that out. But if you need to get a hold of me or get in touch with me, feel free to do that. All right. So just a reminder of kind of the academic skills that we focus on in this class. We focus on writing, asking good questions, collaborating, organizing, and reading. And this year's going to be a little different because we are starting in a distance model, and I hope we don't finish this way, but it's obviously how we are starting. That means that some things are going to be different, but some things are going to be the same. So the first thing, whether we were in person or distance as we are, the first priority for us is college applications. We've spent the last 3 years talking about it. Well, it's time to do it. And typically it's exciting and nerve-wracking, but I think this year it's even more nerve-wracking than normal because the college application process and admissions process is a big question mark. Right? We know some things, but there's a lot that we don't know. And so students, right now what we're trying to figure out is what are those schools, those 3 to 5 schools that we're interested in applying to. If we're thinking MPC or Hartnell or Cabrillo, my message to students right now and to you as parents as well is that community college and junior college, we can wait to have that conversation until the spring. So if there's any thought that you might want to be attending a 4-year school, we need to talk about that now because those applications are coming up in the next few months. So students have been making plans for the last 3 years and, life happens. And so things have changed for a lot of students and others have kind of been able to stick with their plans. So that's what we're working through right now. I'm spending a lot of time talking to students one-on-one, small groups, and whole class about, what their plans are for next year. So some schools are accepting applications. I know I have one student who's already received an admission letter, right, which is really exciting. That's an opportunity for us to celebrate, and hopefully we'll be getting more of those as the year rolls on. So some schools are accepting applications right now. The UCs and CSUs will be accepting them soon. Out-of-state and private schools kind of on their own basis will decide how and when they will accept them. So it's kind of a moving target. I take a differentiated approach, which means I deal with each student individually. And interestingly, the distance learning model really supports that differentiated instruction. So I'm able to have more frequent one-on-ones with students just to make sure that they're following the path or that I'm helping them stay on the path that they've chosen. All right. But the admissions requirements have changed for this year's applying graduating seniors. So the SAT and the ACT at almost every school that I've found has either become optional or now it looks like at UCs and CSUs, they cannot consider the SAT or the ACT as part of the application package. So I'm really encouraging students right now who are looking at out-of-state and private schools to figure out what the status is for those tests because most of us didn't get a chance to take the tests we had signed up for in the spring. So that's just an example of kind of what we're dealing with right now, kind of on a one-on-one basis. So you at home can be helping by having those conversations with your students as well. What schools are feasible? What schools do you think they should be applying to? They should be able to present their case for the schools that they think they should be applying to, but we're having those conversations as well. So reach out to me if you have input on that or some questions or concerns. All right. Moving right along to what does a typical week of distance learning in AVID look like? Well, Monday is just about getting on the same page, right? Making sure we get a good start to the week, making sure that we are putting out any fires before they get too big, solving any problems before they become catastrophes. So we'll start with our Monday morning meeting, which we've done every year. It's a great opportunity for us to kind of check in, see how we're doing, kind of build that class relationship. We will start with that at 8:30 on Monday mornings. And then that's usually about 30 minutes. I might have some instructions for that day for them to work in study groups or to work individually, kind of give them tasks to work on independently for the next 60 minutes while I pull kids one-on-one into breakout rooms so that I can have those one-on-one conversations with them. So while I'm doing one-on-ones, your student may be working on other things, and that will vary from week to week. But that's Monday, is really that check-in day, an opportunity for me to have that one-on-one, give them a task, and also for us as a whole group to check in. All right. The Wednesday meeting is going to be a different focus. That will typically be a seminar topic that students and teachers are going to generate. So me and them, we're going to come up with topics, past topics from past years when I've taught AVID Senior Seminar have been budgeting for college. What are some of the typical issues you might run into with a roommate? I imagine there's going to be all sorts of new kinds of questions that we're going to see given the current context and the current situation. Sometimes these will be skills-based seminars. Sometimes it will be skills-based practice. We'll talk about what is different about being a college student than a high school student. We'll look at sample college syllabi. So just a good opportunity to begin exploring and preparing ourselves for the next step of our education. Then the second half of that period will be tutorials, and this is where students will continue to work together in tutorial groups. We've been doing this since freshman year, and the goal here is to improve your learning outcomes and also to improve your ability to collaborate with your fellow students. That's a good skill, and it's going to be useful when they go on to college. So this is where they will, again, take questions that they have about the content that they're learning in their classes and provide study groups support for each other. They've gotten really good at this, so we're going to continue to do this for the second half of that period on Wednesdays. Right. Then Friday, we don't have a formal class, but I do have office hours, and students are required to attend at least one session. This is a school requirement, so it doesn't always have to be with me, but that's another opportunity for students to come and talk to me. If they didn't get enough one-on-one time during the class period, they can come talk to me on Friday. They can sign up for an office hours meeting on Friday. They'll also have their CHS Connect, where they're going to get additional support and make additional connections. Counselors will be pushing into CHS Connect. They can probably get some college questions to their counselors at that time as well, but we'll see how that goes. I've told my AVID students as well, I'm available to me outside of the school day if that works better. I have prep time on Friday that I'm trying to keep sacred. This distance learning requires a lot of preparation and a lot of outside of class work. But I've told my AVID students that if that's the only time that works for them, I'm happy to meet on my prep period on Friday as well as after school or whatever, and via email. Okay. So springtime, we're going to shift gears and we will have completed all of our applications. Usually the latest application dates are going to be early January, maybe late January, early February, but we're going to be done pretty much by the spring semester. My hope is we would all be back together in some form and be doing some face-to-face instruction, but that's when we're going to start talking about financial aid, the FAFSA, and what are the different types of financial aid that are available to you. We're really going to start crunching the numbers on college costs, and you're going to start getting a sense of what type of financial aid packages will be available when you start getting, or when your student starts getting their acceptance letters, usually around March. So we want to be prepared for that. We want to make sure that we apply for everything. In fact, we're going to register for our PINs soon. And then we wind up the year once we've gotten those college admissions or acceptance letters in hand, and we can celebrate together. We wind up the year with a passion project. And this is really an opportunity for students before they go on to college to once again do some of those things that we did sophomore year, freshman year, where they're exploring their passions and digging into a topic that they're passionate about and interested in. So that's just a really fun way to celebrate and wind out the year. Okay, so all of these topics, I'll be sending you guys information as well. I might send updates every week, every couple of weeks to parents with articles if you're interested. I mean, things are changing. The college landscape is changing almost on a weekly basis. So there's a lot of unknowns right now, but I have found that, if you kind of plug into the right news sources, you can find those updates online. All right, so make sure that you reach out if you have any questions. I'm here to help. This is my job, right? So my job is to help you. So never feel bad about reaching out with a phone call or an email. I'm here to help. And my hope is that we will all be celebrating together come late May, early June. And I'm just excited and hopeful and looking forward to that day. Okay, so reach out if you have any questions. I wish I was talking to you in person right now, but thank you for taking the time to watch my back to school night video. All right, I'll see you later.